video is going to cover the various types of serve. The inside serve as well as the side serve. Short and deep serves. Serve to the center, wide, serve deep down the middle, sometimes considered a drive serve, and serving to the wide deep. So first off, I'd like to start with the inside serve. And basically, this is the serve that should be used most of the time. Because when you serve into the center of the court, the angle of the shuttle coming out of the center is like 45 degrees in each direction. So if you were to serve wide, the return on that could be 90 degrees over here or 0 degrees that way. But that gives you a good 90-degree spin. So this way, serving to the center, you're able to keep the shuttle in front of you so that the one in front can cut it off and possibly put it down for a win. Otherwise, it comes up to the partner in the back and should be able to hit the shuttle down. And this is basically the short serve and how it's done from the inside by a left-hander. And it's just a gentle push. There's no wrist involved, there's no pop. The only time you use a pop is if you want to hit the flick serve, which is to the deep line for doubles. The first one I hit was to the center, and this one's going to be to the wide angle. And it should be somewhat similar to the first one, so they can't read it until the shuttle comes off the racket. Now this will be the deep serve to the center. And that wasn't hit very good, but basically if you use it in the center of the racket, it should get back. That one was a good one. So those are the three serves, and then there is a deep one to the corner, but that takes a lot of power. So basically, if you can use those three serves on the inside serve, it should be very effective. Okay, the side serve now is similar to the inside serve as far as tactics are concerned. To the center is the most viable one. It gives you the best opportunity to hit an effective return. So it's the side serve, and it's just a push. There's no pop to this either. And there's the serve to the center. Now the serve to the side should start and look the same, and then you just push it over to the side. You keep the racket back, and it will go right to the corner. Now the center serve deep is very similar also, but at the bottom you let your wrist go. Okay, and that goes pretty easily to the back line. Now in my particular case, on the side serve, I can hit deep to the far outside box. And depending on whether you're playing against left-handers or right-handers, one side or the other should be effective. There's also a drive serve that some people use, and that's a drive right down the center at a very flat angle. And that is to kind of jam the individual so they can't get their racket around and hit it back. That one's a little tough to perform, but the other ones, as long as they're deceptive, and again, you just push your arm, you don't pop it with your wrist unless you're doing the deep serve. Same thing here. It's a push and a pop for the deep serve. So the first serve, inside serve, you have to be about the waist height, and it's just a push. There's no wrist involved, because if you use your wrist, it'll pop up. So basically, it's just a push over the net, very gentle, and it'll land right in the court, right approximately at the tee. That's the first serve. The second of the inside serves would be the wide serve. And you also want to make your serves look as deceptive as possible. So if you try and make them all look the same, the opposition doesn't have an opportunity to be able to read your serve. If they can read your serve, then it takes away the effect of the serve. So now I'm going to serve to the wide corner. And of course, on the double serve, it's the outside line that's effective. There we are. And it should look essentially the same until the bird is struck. So the first serve is to the center, and this one goes to the wide side. And that should be an effective serve, especially against people who try to crowd the center line. The third serve that is used quite frequently is right to the center. So if you serve right into the center of the opposition of your opponent, it takes away some of his opportunity to be able to hit a deceptive return. Use the racket, change direction, that sort of thing. So the third serve, again, is just a push, and right to the middle of the opposition. So those are the three short serves. Now, we're going to move to the flick serve from the inside serve. Again, we set up in a way such that it looks the same at the beginning. Now, the difference being will be the release of the wrist to get some depth. Inside serve, short. There's the deep serve. And that's most effective if they can't read your serve, because they've got to get back quick enough so they can take it as an overhead. And of course, if you have a right-handed person in this even court, you drive up the center, they either have to take it around the head or they have to take it on the backhand side. So you can hit it flat or you can hit it high and deep. So here's another one that's going to go high and deep. Now the other one is to the outside corner, and that takes an awful lot of strength to do. I'll give it an attempt, and that usually is just to get them off balance. The best thing you can do on your serve is to keep the opposition off balance at all times. There's the outside serve. So basically, those are all the inside serves that you can serve. And the reason for them looking alike is so that you have some perception. Now the next serve that we're going to be doing is going to be the side serve. Now, being left-handed, you have to kind of approximate what you're going to do as a right-handed person. The right-handed person would serve right into the center of the tee and just push the shuttle. As I'll do left-handed because I'm more comfortable with it, and I'll serve it right up to the tee. Again, you don't use any wrist. It's just a push with the arms. And there's more than enough power to be able to get it into that box. And you want to keep it as close to the net as possible so the opposition cannot jump on the serve and push it right back at you and you get point. So once your opponent starts to read your serve, then you'll have to change it up slightly. And you don't have to change it up much. You can just change, if he's jumping on the one in the center, and when you serve, just serve it to the center of the court. That will throw his eye off. He has to move his eye. And the last one, of course, on the short serve, is to push it wide. And the wide, again, is just a push, but you have to push a little bit harder because it's about 2 feet further to get to that outside corner. Now, the last serve for the side serve is going to be the deep serve. And again, you want it to look as consistent as possible with the other serves. This one's an easier serve to hit the flick. And you should hit it higher. Make your opponent move their feet. If they can cut it off, they don't have to move their feet. They're in a lot of trouble. So, you change the elevation of your racket as you get to the hitting. And you put it as close to the service line as you can with some height. It's not necessarily to fool them, but it's to get them in the back of the court. And also, you can serve it wide if you've got a left-hander, and you can get to his backhand from the even court by serving it out wide. He's either going to take it around the head or he's going to take it on his backhand. And you can also change the elevation. You can drive it.